You know, it's interesting to consider the categories of irritation when it comes to your MAGA movement at large, broadly Republicans who don't speak out against Trump. Because, of course, the Lauren Boeberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Matt Gaetzes, these people that are fully ride or die MAGA are really irritating. But imagine being someone who knows better. Is it worse for you to support Trump? And there are figures like Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw that, given some of his critiques of the more extreme MAGA people, given just his whole vibe, it feels like he knows better, and he's not totally drinking the Kool-Aid like a Marjorie Taylor Greene is. But then he goes right along with it, and thus should be judged just as aggressively and should be called out just as aggressively. And that's what Tim Miller, friend of the David Pakman Show and friend of the Luke Beasley Show, did on Piers Morgan's show. So let's watch this clip and then we'll discuss.
Surely, Tim, you must recoil a bit when you see the way she responds to those kind of questions. I mean, she literally says nothing.
I don't.
It's just blather.
I don't, because this is the thing. You guys don't want to show Donald Trump's answers because they're even more word salad. It's lies and it's conspiracies and it's dangerous. And that's why we're not showing his interviews where he's lying about what's happening with Hurricane Helene right now, or the debate where Kamala mopped the floor with him. Here's the thing. Congressman Crenshaw wants your audience to think that the Republican Party right now is the same as it was in 2017, and that the Donald Trump administration will be the same as it was when he brought in a bunch of traditional Republicans to be around him in his cabinet and to work in his staff. And I'm sorry, that's just an imaginary world that the congressman wants to live in to feel comfortable. Because what the world we live in now is all of those people are, no, I'm sorry, Piers, let me finish. All of those people are gone now. And at the RNC at the box, the people around Trump are Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson. Tucker had a prominent spot to speak at the convention. Congressman Crenshaw did not. This new party is a nativist party that's going to be about mass deportations and tariffs and revenge on Donald Trump's enemies. If you don't believe me, listen to what Donald Trump says. And I just want to know why Congressman Crenshaw thinks that he understands where the party is better than Trump's own vice president, Mike Pence, who assesses this and says, no, this is not someone we can trust. Why does Congressman Crenshaw think that he knows better than Mike Pence about Donald Trump's character and what kind of policies he would put in place?
Dan, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, so I'll just remind everybody that we're about to vote in November. And on your ballot, it doesn't ask you the question of whether Donald Trump is the same as Jesus Christ. That's not what the question is. The question is, do you prefer Donald Trump or do you prefer Kamala Harris?
And the look on Tim Miller's face is perfect at the end. Yeah. It's so interesting. One of the points, I'm trying to remember Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban makes this point a lot. One of the interesting differences between Vice President Harris's campaign and Trump's is Trump's relies so much more on his allies explaining what it is that he's saying day to day. Oh, Tim Scott, I know David covered Tim Scott on CNBC saying, no, when Trump's talking about tariffs, often Trump talks in the abstract. He's saying specific numbers, the size of tariffs that he's going to implement, but that's just an abstraction, right? It's painting you a picture that then you're supposed to have some conclusion. You're going to be inspired by the picture he painted with his specific numbers to realize that the tariff's going to be something different. And then Tim Scott goes on to try to make sound more sane the ramblings of Trump at his events. Dan Crenshaw is a big part of this. You need your perceived to be, at least, more moderate Republicans to be out there saying, oh, listen, I know that Trump's not Jesus Christ, unlike what a lot of American people pretend. And he has these flaws, but we're just talking about policy. And Trump on policy. And that allows for so many people, some that I know personally and love them, to go, no, I get it, Luke. He's terrible in this way and that way and this way. But people that I respect, like Dan Crenshaw, are willing or have convinced me that Trump's just better. He's just better because of the border or the economy, even though for those reasons, and those are whole different conversations, he's not better on those issues. And this holds together the movement that's just large enough to maybe be able to win. Because if it were just Trump's hardcore ride or die folks, you wouldn't be able to have an electoral shot on the national level. And they do rely on these moderates. It feels weird to say that because if you're supporting Trump, it's hard to call you that. But they rely on people like Dan Crenshaw to make the case. And so Tim Miller saying, don't redefine what Trump stands for to then advocate for him. Either stand with what Trump actually stands for, which is disastrous. You justify the fact that he tried to unlawfully stay in power last time he was president. Torching our Constitution was what he was willing to do in the interest of that. You justify that or you get on our side. Because in our movement, we don't have to agree on a lot of policies, but we do have to agree on the fundamental, foundational, constitutional principles that MAGA has abandoned. So you're either over there or you're standing with all that stuff from Trump. It's different than I disagree with Kamala on this position, or in times gone by, I disagree with the Republican on this issue, but I think they're the better option. Because the foundational things have to come first, and Dan Crenshaw is seemingly willing to look past, or he has the wrong stance on the foundational stuff, those fundamental things like a basic respect for our democracy. And so I love that Tim Miller flipped it around and went, no, you're not. I don't care if some moment Harris was kind of vague. I'd like her not to be. But then the moment right after that clip, probably, as we've seen so often, she gets much more specific. I'd like to know why you think that's more consequential than all that Trump stands for. And I'd like to know why you criticize that and not, as Tim Miller put it, Trump being far, far worse, not even comparable with the word salads he delivers.
I want to tell you about an important part of my morning routine, AG1, one of our sponsors. Before I have my cappuccino, I put just one scoop of AG1 in a glass of water. Every morning, I get my vitamins, my minerals, my pre and probiotics, and more, just filling the nutritional gaps, supporting my gut. AG1 contains prebiotics, probiotics, and gut-supporting ingredients just to support digestion, reduce bloating. In a recent research study, AG1 was shown to double the healthy bacteria in the gut. These healthy bacteria work together, break down food, and alleviate bloating, promote digestive regularity, aid in digestive comfort long-term. AG1 is made with bioavailable ingredients that work with your body. And what good is a supplement if your body can't absorb and use it? AG1's powder form makes it easy for your body to digest and access the nutrient-dense ingredients in the formula. AG1 is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 plus 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription order at drinkag1.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.